It is not yet January 26th, but I'm on a roll, and I want to still respond to that convocation that we had on January 24th. I'm Mark Stewart, candidate for governor. There were 11 candidates for governor. It might have been the largest Democrat convocation of governor candidates that the state has ever seen. So in Glastonbury, a lot of Q&A. I couldn't get to this, and I'd like to now. The address about what government can do for certain inequities. This one doesn't have much of a government solution, but it might be the biggest inequity out there. And it is an unfairness that single moms work harder with the same skill set and can't, or have a much harder time getting as far. They have a harder time parenting, and they have a harder time getting further in their careers compared with the married mom. It is such a big discrepancy. The single mom who relies on her income alone, doesn't have any other support, has to take often the first job offered to her. And that might be a part-time job. Got to get something. So then, keep that job and adding more, you add a second job. And that's why you end up with single moms often tethered to 2 or maybe even 3 jobs. They don't have the luxury of having time to get the career single job. Part-time is not a way to build a career either. So those who have that stability in a single job with the same skill set are much more easily propelling themselves higher. What's the government's solution? There's not a good one. I have a few, and I'll get to them. But I want to encourage better education of the consequences of having a child before you're ready. And especially having a child when you're not wed or he's not ready. Folks, progressives don't encourage marriage enough. It's a problem. They say, hey, you like the guy, it's okay to have sex. Or, you love the guy, you should have sex. If that guy is not giving you a ring, you should not have sex. If you're not engaged or married, the consequences of sex are dangerous. That's what the conservatives' message will be. And you won't hear that in school systems that want to stay away from that element. It's too religious. You know what? It's good civics. And we need to hear those sort of cautions for the sake of all the kids that you're trying to protect against bad consequences. I'm not that concerned about protecting against STDs. That's the health aspect of sex ed. I'm concerned about the consequences of emotions of sex before you're ready, about the consequences of a pregnancy before you're ready. It can ruin a young woman's life, and it hurts grandma's life at times if grandma is not really able or eager to care at that point. Now, I can, as a governor, do at least one thing that can help women, and that's paternity enforcement. We don't do enough right now to go after guys who do have money to make payments. Now, you know that I'm in favor of a cybercrime institute. We're going to get better and better at finding people wherever they are, at extracting money from credit card accounts or bank accounts wherever they are. If you have the money to pay and you're under orders but absconding, we will find you, and we will get money back to the state and to the woman that you left empty-handed. Women, to you I say, try to avoid that situation in the first place. And that means, until you're engaged, keep him out of your bedroom. Okay? He doesn't love you enough to give you that ring. And you could end up with a pregnancy where you pay for that frivolity. As you've heard me say, have ice cream, not sex. A banana split shared can be a good enough experience if you're not ready. And most young men, and almost all boys, are not ready to be fathers. So, the word is more like, hey fella, I know you're eager. I'm not ready. You're not ready. Stay out of my bedroom. I can say that it's easy to make a mistake. So the help that a governor could give is for those who do have a runaway husband that they can't find, or non-husband. How about co-ops for moms with kids? Possibly living together in large houses, but the shared expenses allow you to save a lot of money. And the possible shared nannying, when just one of the parents can be home and, say, 4 others, the kids can be safe and working on an activity in the afternoon. The shared experience of, well, maybe you collaborate with each other in getting the next job. Maybe the first person who gets a good job can refer others in the same household. Maybe there's commuting. Co-ops could be done well if there were actually less state support. State gives you a full house or an apartment. You're on your own though. The mutuality and the savings probably is worth it. Co-op living would let more single moms take full-time jobs out of the house, let their talents let them flourish. By the way, talent-wise, I don't think where you went to college matters. And my company, okay, my company has the name to try to get people to name colleges. That's what they want. We're dedicated to getting there. But your talent out of college is what you work on, not what the college name is. I don't even know half of the colleges that my crew here attended. I don't even know. They do their jobs great. I don't care. So I also think there's something better than a co-op, and that's grandma in the home. Grandma, because of progressive desires to be separate, and that's an old thing, and we should be on our own, there's been a stigma to grandma or grandpa still living in the home with mother, father, and grandkids. Grandparents are huge underutilized assets to the kids and the parents, and they love the grandkids. We don't use them enough. Grandma can help her daughter, especially if it's a single, newly divorced mom or never married mom, get her wheels on track for a career. Grandma could also give the marginal mom the support to keep her younger boy in line. That teenager who might be one of those wayward kids, having that extra adult wisdom and having adult that you love still in the house day after day could keep you on the straight line. Teenage boys don't want to disappoint their grandma. They can be there to teach the lessons that would disappoint. And back to the lesson that I have for any teenage boy who is not attuned to this. I want to give a final lesson to any teenage boy or older, to the power the state has over you if you don't respect a woman who's not ready. It's the paternity liability that causes you to be liable for that child's upbringing financially for 18 years. You ready for that? When you're barely holding a job of your own? Don't go there. We need more conservative lessons. Home economics should be taught in school the right way. Sex ed should be taught in school the right way. Until public schools do these things, I encourage private schools. And as I think you know, I'd like to see public turned into private. In one easy swoop, this state could have better morals, better civics, and better education. Thanks for tuning in.